Hello, everyone. I'm Michelle Mclean, your host for Tip Radio, Top Industry Professionals, where we talk to professionals from around the globe in various different professions, speaking with them about their experience and success. And today, our special guest is someone who's built a career defined by curiosity, rigor, and an enduring commitment to solving real world problems. He's an accomplished scholar whose expertise has been sought at the highest levels of government and industry. He's authored, co-authored, and edited 6 books, 175 scientific articles, and has dedicated over 5 decades of his life in operations research, in how cities respond to emergencies, and how governments plan for disasters and pandemics. We were so fortunate to celebrate him in December in Las Vegas at the IAOTP's Gala Awards at the Bellagio Hotel. Everyone, please welcome Professor Richard Larson. So lovely to have you, Professor.
Michelle, thank you so much. Good to see you again, and thank you for inviting me to this.
Well,
Thank you. Thank you very much.
you're so inspirational. It was wonderful to meet you in December. Now, you've dedicated, as I mentioned, 5 decades of your life to figuring out operations and how things work. Was this always a field that you were interested in? Was it always something you aspired to? Or how did you get involved?
Good question. Before that, you mentioned Las Vegas, which some people call Las Wages. And I'd like to share this. Can you see this?
Yes. Oh, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, that's my son Evan, who was with me, and we're at the black tie event.
Oh, wonderful.
We had a
And
great time.
and
Yeah,
he had a good time as well.
yeah, we had a great time.
So us
So,
as a family, we really, really, truly celebrate you, and all our members want to know more about you.
okay, okay. So let's get back to your question. Your question is, how did I get into operations research?
Yes.
How did I find the field? Well, I found out in high school that I really enjoyed physics, but I didn't want to become a physicist. It was too academic and too hands off and too remote. I wanted to do something else. So somehow along my way through college and university at MIT, I discovered operations research. It was by accident. It's research on operations is really what it is. Is if people ask what that is, and the abbreviation is OR for operations research, not operating room, as in a hospital. Yeah, so I found out that I like that, but I like boots on the ground. I like to interact with the world around me. And so operations research allows you to do that. And so it applies to so many things. Queuing, like waiting at a supermarket in line, or waiting in your car at a red light, or waiting at a hospital for emergency service, which can be, life-threatening if the queue is too long. Um, Transportation, how to get from point A to point B efficiently. There are algorithms that are operations research algorithms that you now have programmed into your car. So you have a that the car knows where you are, and you say where you want to go, and it'll figure out the optimal route, the fastest route. And that's an operations research thing. Inventory control is another operations research thing. And so, we all do these things ourselves. We're all operations researchers. Inventory control. Oh, I'm running out of dog food. I better go out and buy some because my dog Maisie would be upset. So that's inventory control. Getting from point A to point B, we let the car do that automatically. And and queuing theory is waiting line theory is one of the core aspects, and my nickname is Dr. Q. So if you put Dr. Q into Google, my name pops up first. Some people think operations research was founded in World War II as a result of the invention of anti-submarine warfare, but that's wrong, and it's simplistic. For instance, queuing theory, which is a core feature of operations research, was created by A.K. Erlang, a Danish telephone engineer, in 1919. That's slightly before World War II. So
Wow.
operations research has been around for a while, and that's what I do.
Okay, but you make it sound so simplistic, but obviously not all of us are organized, and I'm certainly one of those people that is not organized. My husband has a brain like you. He actually studied physics as well, even though he's a sportsman. But talking about your expertise and all the years that you've spent working on these various projects at a very high level with governments. What would your advice be to anybody wanting to get into your field?
Well, if you want to get into this field or whatever field, you have to really think in your brain about what your intellectual passions are. What is that really excites you that utilizes all the capability of your brain and pushes you to even learn more and think about it? What is it you think about when you're brushing your teeth in the morning, or you dream about at night? Hopefully, these are not nightmares. Hopefully, they're not nightmares. And when I discovered operations research, that was for me. I figured, wow, that's great because I'm a boots on the ground guy. So you can do it working. And I did a lot of operations research in the public sector, particularly for New York City, also St. Louis and some other places. And so I just fell in love with it.
But I mean, so eras have changed quite substantially over the past 5 decades, right? So and technology has changed. How have you been able to move with that? Because I mean, it's been exponential.
Oh, that's true. So, for instance, getting from point A to point B used to have something called maps, and the glove compartment, and it wouldn't have gloves; it would have maps. You get out a paper map and say, "Oh, here we are, and this is where we're going." And I can remember drawing with a red marker the route to where we're going. Now, with the technology and the satellite, you don't need that anymore. You have a voice in the computer in the car that'll actually tell you when to turn and all this kind of thing. So the technology has really changed, but that's good for operations research because operations research can utilize all that technology. And so, for instance, at the moment, since I'm Dr. Q, I think there should be no excuse for dumb traffic lights. Do you know what a dumb traffic light is? A dumb traffic light is the majority of traffic lights around the country. They're on a fixed signal, fixed cycle. So
Yeah.
maybe 30 seconds green, 30 seconds red, 30 seconds green, 30 seconds red. But you can put a sensor up on top and can tell where the cars are waiting or we're not waiting.
Mm.
And so you can make all traffic lights adaptive to the current state of affairs of cars waiting or not waiting. And if there are no cars waiting, take the road that's the most traveled and keep that a perpetual green. Keep that a perpetual green until the car comes on the side road, and then you can change it. So there's no excuse for fixed cycle traffic lights. So Dr. Q is trying to change that.
Well, we are grateful to you because, firstly, I come from the era. I remember the days when I had to open a map, and if I got lost on the road and I didn't get the directions correctly from a friend, I would have to stop at a gas station and
Yeah.
ask for directions. And where is this road? And there's a farm road there, and because I obviously come from Africa, so that's also different. But I traveled Europe a lot. But talking about being Mr. Q, and when I came to
Dr. Q.
sorry, Dr. Q or Professor Q. When I came to America and I actually saw how systematically everything was, in most places, smoothly operated, I was astounded because that is so you are part of that whole trajectory of how systematically you can gauge whether you are going to change the flow of the traffic. So
Right,
I'm
right.
so grateful to you, and I'm sure billions of people are grateful to you for that.
Well, I'm just a small player in that, but there are many players in that. And if you think about it, why should you be at a red light if there's no cars going in the other way? No cars queued up. You're wasting time and you're wasting fuel.
Yeah.
You're wasting petrol as well. Although one of my cars turns itself off automatically when I'm have my foot on the brake,
And that's
and
another
we're
change.
stopped.
That's another change of technology, which is absolutely amazing for
It
us.
is. It
I
is.
mean, talking about that, so you make it sound so easy. And so, you're talking about your days at MIT. Was that where you studied or was that where you lectured?
I'm what they call an MIT lifer. There are very few of us. I started as a freshman at age 18, and I've yet to leave. So I got my bachelor's, master's, PhD there. And then my advisor, Professor Al Drake, said, Dick, would you consider hanging around for a couple of years as an assistant professor before you go off and make your millions? That's a quote. And I had the Groucho Marx syndrome. You know what that is?
No.
I'd never respect a club that would have me as a member. That's the Groucho Marx syndrome. And I never thought I could, possibly be a faculty member at MIT. So I said, okay, I'll do that. And they promoted me. They gave me tenure. I'm now a chaired professor. And yeah, so that was very, very nice. Been very, very fortunate that way.
But it seems like you stay in the family and you stay in the network. But what would you say? I'm sure, besides your amazing accolades, what were the obstacles in your career that you can actually advise people about?
Well, uh,
Were there any challenges, for instance?
yeah,
I mean, I'm
yeah,
sure many.
yeah. For instance, on Fridays, I would go to my consulting firm and be a consultant because, an MIT professor is expected to be in their office, his or her office, and teaching and doing research and working with students maybe 4 days a week. And they actually MIT actually likes it when you spend the fifth day of the week in the real world, consulting and this sorts of things. And most of the time, I'd fly to New York and spend a day, the Fridays in New York. And so sometimes I would run into, real problems. And so, for instance, I read in 1968 or so, the number 911, the emergency number 911 came out. Has nothing to do with 9/11, the disaster in New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a coincidence that there's 911 and 9/11 look the same. And just think about 911. It's now called the universal number for emergencies. I doubt if they use it on Mars, so I don't know how universal it is. But in New York City before 911, they had five boroughs. Manhattan was divided into two, that makes it six. Brooklyn was divided into two, that makes it seven. And then you had a different number, whether it was police, fire, or ambulance. So that's seven times. That's 21 different numbers you had to know as a New Yorker just to dial for an emergency. And imagine you were a visitor. The many tourists and visitors in New York City, they have had no idea what seven digit number to dial. So 911 was a major invention, a major thing. And then I was a doctoral student at MIT when it was implemented in 1968. And then I started reading letters to the editor of the New York Times and other New York papers. Oh, I dialed the mayor's 911 system number the other night, and I let it ring for 28 minutes with no answers. I thought maybe I got the wrong number, so I hung up and dialed 911 again. And after 25 minutes, I got an answer: "Police emergency. May I help you?" So I realized, as a Q guy, and at that time I was just a doctoral student, but I realized they have a real queuing problem. They have not managed their workforce to balance where the ebbs and flows of demand are. It turns out that the demand for service on an hourly basis for 911 varied by more than an order of magnitude. It varied from the low hours of the day to the high hours of the day, Friday and Saturday nights being the highest. And the way they had scheduled the workers at police headquarters downtown Manhattan did not reflect this order of magnitude change of demand. So when it got up very high Friday and Saturday nights, people would be waiting 30 minutes for the phone to be answered. So I
Mm.
went down there and I worked with two lieutenants for a month. I basically lived in police headquarters. I mean, I didn't sleep there, but other than that, I was there all the time. And I worked on the data and the mathematical models. They worked on training people so that the dispatchers and the call takers would be better trained and you can get to the meat of the matter faster.
Mhm.
And so after about a month, we were done. And so I was invited to give a presentation before all the top brass of the New York City Police Department, including the police commissioner. And everyone was scared of him. I mean, he was a scary figure. He was very highly respected, but he had his own opinions about things. So I had these PowerPoint slides with colors and things presented, and I presented exactly why we had to change the way we schedule these 911 operators. And after about 2 minutes, he said, "What's your name again?" I said, my Richard Larson. Larson, stop. What you're telling me are all lies. My command staff said that there were no problems with the 911 system, and these letters to the editor are all lies. They're just lying. And so he looked over to the two lieutenants who I'd worked with side by side for a month. Lieutenants, what's really going on? And they kind of gulped and they said, "Sir, what Mr. Larson is saying is correct. That is the true state of affairs." And boy, the police commissioner sat up straight and he started taking notes. And he said, "If that's the case, we're gonna improve this as soon as possible." And within 2 weeks of my presentation, all of my recommendations were implemented in the New York City Police Department. That's a record for me then, and it hasn't been, it's still a record for me now. 2 weeks for every one of my recommendations were implemented. And
That
as a result, I think some lives were saved.
Well, without a doubt. But I mean, that's absolutely incredible. I was just about to say that throughout your illustrious career, you have been on magazine covers, in interviews, you've been, on billboards with IOTP around the country. So one would say that you are so accomplished on so many levels. But what is the highlight of your career, do you think? I mean, this story you just told me is just must be one of them.
Isn't that amazing? Well, I think the highlight of my career is working with my soulmate and wife, Mary Elizabeth Murray, who unfortunately passed away about 4 years ago. But I was so fortunate to meet her. The fact that we ever met was almost divine intervention because the chances of us meeting since our circles were quite different. But we did. I actually went over the only time in my life I saw somebody and I had like there's positive radiation coming from that woman. You have to go meet her. Never before have I gone up and introduced myself to a female I didn't know, and I dropped a line. I said, "There's a party over there in the kitchen." Half the people were in the kitchen. "There's a party over there. The other half were in the living room. Can we start a party here?" I know it's a crappy
That's
line. I
beautiful.
know it's a crap. It's the only line I ever dropped to a woman, and it worked. Eventually, we started dating. We fell madly in love.
Oh,
Eventually, got married. We had 3 children, which are now very adult children. I now have 4 grandchildren, and but if I hadn't had the the courage to go up to her and drop a line, which I had never done before, my life would have been totally different.
well, that is such a beautiful testament to a wonderful partner that you had in your life, and I'm very, very touched. And we do send you our deepest sympathies, even though it has been 4 years. it probably never gets easier. But just to thank you for sharing your story,
Well, thank you for inviting me to share the story. Yeah.
and that's so important that we have life partners like that,
Yeah.
that some of us have that blessing and experience.
Just today, my three adult kids and myself have decided to uh, buy a bench with her name on it and place it in her favorite place of walking with dogs, which is called Willard's Woods here in Lexington. And the town of Lexington provides a vehicle for doing this, for getting benches and in commemoration of so and so and so and so, and putting them down. Of course, it costs some money, but it's not exorbitant. And so that's what we're going to do.
That's absolutely beautiful testament to that wonderful life that you've been able to share with her. What area is that exactly, just for our listeners?
Willard's Woods in Lexington.
Yeah.
It's in Lexington. It's on the boundary with Burlington. Okay, so if anybody knows like Eastern Massachusetts,
Yeah.
Lexington and Burlington share a boundary, and it's on the Burlington boundary but it's in Lexington. And if anyone comes to Lexington and you're driving through the downtown, if you ask any of the natives here where Willard's Woods where Willard's Woods are,
Yeah.
they'll tell you. They'll tell you. It's about 2 miles from the town center.
Well, you must please share your photographs with us as well with IOTP, because all the members would love to obviously see this and celebrate that with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I certainly would.
Thank you.
And talking about being a grandfather and all your busyness, what do you do for your spare time, your fun?
Oh, well, I have my golden retriever Maisie, who's in the kitchen now resting, and we used to go walking through Willard's Woods together, but she got cancer in her thigh bone in her right front leg. So she had to have that leg amputated. So I call her my three-legged miracle. She hops around now on three legs. So I can't take her on long walks. The biggest walk I could take her is just outside around the house, outside, and then back in the kitchen again. Uh, but I like to go walking every day if the weather permits, and even if it doesn't permit, I typically go walking. And my goal every day is 10,000 steps, which is about 3.5 miles. And I managed to do that.
Incredible. Well done.
I managed to do that more than half the time, even in the winter time. Yeah.
That's incredible. So what is it like there now? Is it freezing cold with you? Because in Florida, I'm feeling quite nice and warm.
Let's see if we can show you. Can you see the snow?
Oh, that is beautiful. Oh, yes. No, no, we don't have that experience here in Florida. Oh, Professor Larson, it's been such a pleasure chatting to you, and I'm sure all our members and listeners would love to hear more about you and your work. How do they get hold of you?
Best way is by email
Mhm.
and rclarson@mit.edu. RC Larson, no spaces, at mit.edu.
Fantastic. Well,
Yeah,
we so look forward to seeing you at our next celebration. Are you going to come to Nashville for
not
our
Nashville,
summer foray?
but I'll be in New York.
Okay, fabulous.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So good talking to you. Thank you. Again, thank you for the opportunity. This has been great.
You too, absolutely, Prof. And I will definitely be remembering you when I dial 911 if I ever do, because sometimes I'm on the highway in Miami and they drive like idiots here, and I see, an accident or something, and I preempt it. So
But
thank
just think of the world before 911. In New York City, there are 21 different numbers.
That's just
And
incomprehensible.
if you're a visitor to New York City, a lot of tourists in New York City, and they didn't know what to do. So I'm sure people died as a result of 911 not existing. So it was a great invention, great invention.
Well, we thank you for that.
Oh.
Keep you in mind always.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Take care now.
Thank you, Richard. We'll chat
Okay.
soon again.
Okay. Bye bye.
Cheers. Bye.